Welcome to Heart of Poland, the long-running show about discovering the heart of Poland. And boy, oh boy, have we got a guest today. A friend of a mutual friend, Y from the Magic of Y channel. Hello, Y. Can I?
Hello.
Am I allowed to know your name, or will you kind of kill me?
I go by Y. Actually,
that's a cool look, bro. I got to tell you that straight away.
But I actually use this as a name. Everybody's asking me what's my name, and literally I use Y.
And to be clear, that's not some kind of communication to the.
Yeah, that's my brand actually, but really I go by Y. In Poland we call it Y.
It's a strong look. It's a cool thing. You know, I'm mildly jealous. Plus the hair, which we were discussing before the shows. You've got the persona is awesome, dude.
Thank you.
I have to just say that I'm mildly jealous that I never came up with that kind of look. But
I actually, it's not many people know that I worked on my persona, because I think like being a magician is one thing to come up with the new magic effects, but the second is the story and the persona, right? So we all tell ourselves stories about our lives. Everything is a story basically, and a more mysterious looking magician in a story comes up better, I think.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. And in terms of Polish magicians, would I be right in saying you're basically the biggest cheese on the block?
I don't know, like it's not for me to say, but all of the surveys we do says that. So no, actually I was pretty lucky, because when YouTube was becoming a big thing, before we called YouTubers, I just went on YouTube and I started doing this, and I met those people who have now 5 million, 4 million followers, and they help me out with cross promoting, and I used this as a platform to gain a lot of followers. So I think I was lucky to hop on the social media train.
Well, I'm kind of excited about having a big deal in the internet. So can I ask you to just say how many followers you got? Like almost 1 million on Instagram, am I right?
No, on Instagram it's actually 250,000. It's around 250,000, but it's my smallest social medium, Instagram. I have almost 1 million subscribers on YouTube and almost 1 million on TikTok.
Almost 1 million on TikTok.
Yeah.
Big on TikTok.
Content.
Do you miss the early years when it was you and your computer kind of doing crazy stuff in Warsaw, and it's because you kind of built an empire, really, an agency and platforms. I'm assuming every 5 minutes you walk down the street, someone's grabbing you to take a picture. Do you miss those years?
I love the beginnings. Sometimes I'm thinking about like the situation all over the world, right? The like very tough situation. I'm thinking like, if I would die right now, I'm very happy. I led a very happy life. I've made so much stuff. I have so many great memories. It was so surreal. Like when you do this kind of stuff, when you pursue your dreams, you don't think about it. But then if you stop and this is stuff that I will literally tell my grandchild. Right?
Well, they can watch it.
Yeah, they can watch it, right? But it was so weird. I even remember those, sense of, summer vibes, walking 8 hours, to find the correct people, because not many people know that doing magic on streets, it's very hard to find people that will agree to do something, and maybe sometimes you do a couple of times the same magic effect, and then there is no good reaction, so you have to try it multiple times. But it ended in a way. The old thing ended in a way when I started getting more traction, because now people actually approach me when I'm filming, and it's much easier for me to film, because I already have the audience, right? I don't have to. Sometimes I have to, but most of the times I don't have to work for them, right?
You kind of grown up with the platform of YouTube, and I was watching the old videos and seeing like the old version of you and the makeover. There's some awesome films on there, including the time we were talking about before, where you're trying to do magic on a puma.
Which is it's kind of recent. It's like, I think it's 2 years ago. I think
slightly terrifying, as the puma gets very protective over your cards. It's branded, by the way, with the Y, which you can buy online if you want to.
Yeah, thank you.
It's magicofy.com.
Yes, magicofy.com. Yes.
We like plugs here.
We do luxury playing cards. So if you want a luxury playing cards,
the gold ones are quite pricey, though, aren't they?
But they're actually every single card is gold. That's why they're so pricey, because they're the foil on this. I actually should have bring those as a gift, but I didn't. But I'm gonna give you on the second time we meet.
I like that. I like that.
But anyway, like I love playing cards. But the Puma thing is like, I knew from the moment I came to this room that I'm not I don't care about those cards.
I'm not a student of psychology, but I could slightly see from your body language that you were holding back.
There's like one of the most scary thing I've done, but actually I did have a second scary animal. I don't know if you've seen the spider. I used to work quite a bit with the spider, and I didn't like spiders, but I would choose those spiders over puma any day.
But let's be clear, because in that trick it's a real spider.
Yeah, it's a real spider. So the idea was that this is funny because it was very creative for me growing on YouTube, because the idea was that first I've made a prank with the fake spider on YouTube. And then I was thinking, if I would be able to make a real spider appear, right? So I was thinking about it, and then I was thinking about it for years, because, people have this tendency thinking of, sleeves as most magicians don't use sleeves. I don't use sleeves as a way to do magic. But I was thinking, like, if I would put, in a pocket or a sleeve the spider, then, if I'm gonna just smash him, like, it's so easy. It's so, but also, like, it's very delicate, right? And you wanna think about animal. Somehow, when it comes to spiders, nobody thinks about, animal safety, right? Somehow, I don't know why. But anyway, I did. And for years, I was trying to come up with the idea how to handle it properly. And then my TV show was running, and we wanted to do something special. And I learned that Antek Królikowski, famous Polish actor, hates spiders. And I'm like, that's it. We need to do it.
His reaction is quite something.
Yeah. And his reaction was huge for the fake spider at first.
Yeah.
And the real spider was just an afterthought, as in my idea of a script. But of course, none of the celebrities in my show, none of them knew what was happening. Like, that was our main rule. If manager said no, they need to know. It's like, no, we're not gonna. Trust me, honest to God, I'm never gonna stooge a situation like this, because it's so unfair. And we did the spider, but first I was doing this fake spider. And I used to wear this watch with your heartbeat, and his reaction was like my heartbeat, like pump. And I was like, doing it or not, because maybe he's gonna fall, as like have a heart attack or something. Right. But beforehand, we checked that there is a hospital literally nearby, and we have a whole crew ready. So I'm like, let's stick to the plan. And actually, Antek, then I made it appear not in his hand, because that would be too much, I think. But I made it appear on the table, and I covered it with the glass. And back then, he got a chance to literally confront his fear.
Yeah.
That was for me, it was very inspiring. And the fact that we still have relationships, and a relationship with Antek, and I was at his wedding recently. I think he still likes me, even though he's joking about it every time. But yeah, that was kind of amazing in terms of like those dangerous animals. Yeah.
Now, when you do a trick, like you did with my kids before we began, which is pretty impressive, I see, and I had exactly the same reaction that everybody always has. Yeah. First, and then, how did you do that? That's the question everybody asks, right?
Yes.
I wonder, is there a little part of you which is really enjoying the entire process of watching someone's face and their reactions? You're watching them very carefully. As I've been listening to you and listening to interviews, it's really important.
It's a very interesting question, because not many people think about, the levels of magic, because, we have those magic sets, and a kid picks up the magic set and do something, and maybe you don't understand how it's done. But with the professional magician, what you can see is that when you have the magic, it's perfect. You do it like, for me, I do it like 13 years. Like the appearing lollipop that I did for your daughters. I love it, because it's it doesn't matter if you have a child or you have grown-ups like my audience, because
Robert Lewandowski.
Or Robert Lewandowski, for example, because I literally don't perform for children like day to day. You still have this child face because of the lollipop, and to the audience, if you want to do magic, like you don't have to appear a lollipop, just give somebody a lollipop. This is so childish, but still, like a lot of people, you know, like it, and it brings back memories from the childhood. So it's very powerful. And then, you know, with good magicians, like the professionals, you have this kind of thinking, like, what does it mean? Because maybe you can appear anything, but why do I appear lollipop? It's very carefully selected. And also, when I do it, I don't focus on magic because I know, but I focus on people.
Yeah.
And still, every time you try to improve, like if somebody understand it, like maybe, like whether they were, you know, misdirected by something or somebody or a voice, and it's a lot of stuff that it's like as soon as you start observing people and doing this for people, not for you, for your ego that you can do something that anybody else can. Then the magic, the real magic happened. Yeah. So it's very powerful.
There's a reason why who can do basically anything, including making water just literally stand up, doesn't really do much with kids. Pretty hard to work with kids.
Yeah, honestly, like kids.
45 minutes.
Like kids are one of the reasons I don't work for kids as a professional is that's because this is very difficult. Like very difficult. Like children are so easy distracted, and everything is magic for them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're kind of not very impressive compared to what's going on in their minds.
Like, look, if I would read your mind now, like your daughters would assume it's something you do because they're so young, they don't know yet that this is something not typical, right? So this is the stuff. Like my repertoire is more like for corporate people, like very intelligent people who have a lot of paths already in their head, and when you break those paths, then, you know, like guessing someone's PIN code to the bank account, they know how insecure that is, how bad it is, like, and what are the consequences. And children would say, he just guessed the numbers, right?
Yeah,
just numbers, like.
Isn't it fascinating how as you become older, your thinking process became both more fixed, but you also have more options inside your brain based on your life experience, and yet you're somehow less flexible than a child.
So the way I always explain, it's very simple. If you have a child or somebody very simple, and it's okay, they talking about, let's say, alphabet as abstract concept. They don't know A, B, but they don't know what's next, C, D, etc. So if you do A, B, and then after B there will be like P, right? They say, okay, this is how it is.
Yeah.
But if you have somebody who knows exactly how the alphabet works, A, B, C, D, and then after D there's P, they're like, what's happening? So this is the concept that basically more intelligent people tend to enjoy magic more, actually.
Interesting. I never would have thought of that.
But I think everybody can enjoy, like, everybody is intelligent enough, because the intelligence is a totally different story, because, like, people say you're not intelligent, like, what kind of intelligence you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, you've done, talking about intelligent people, you've done some pretty cool magic tricks on quite a lot of famous people as well.
Yeah, famous.
Including Mr. Robert Lewandowski.
Very intelligent too.
Very
actually.
intelligent.
Very intelligent.
Popped not one, not two, not three, actually three lollipops from behind.
But you know what strikes me, like, these people can watch like what I do for Robert, but I like to tell people a story. I don't know if it's private or not, but I'm going to say he's a very, very people person. And I was so surprised because a year and a half, I think, after this 1 hour I got with him, we met on the party, and I'm a huge fan. I'm literally my manager saying that there might be event tomorrow. I'm like, I'm gonna skip the game. I never skip the game, right? So I always watch the game, and with him it's like, I was worried if he's gonna remember me, because you don't want to let down on your idol, like
hard to forget, but but quite possible.
I literally said to my manager, like, look, can you approach him first before we meet and say, look, this is why, remember, year and a half, you know, and like make you like, can you make him remember me so I don't have, you know, and then he's like, no, don't worry, he will remember. And of course his friends like told me, like, he talked many times to his friends about what happened on the video, And then he's seeing me, he's like, you have something new? And I'm like, okay, so he's remembering. And the second question, and I said, because it was at the event and he was doing a lot of interviews and didn't have time to eat. So I'm like, I already ordered, so the waiter will bring you food. So first eat and then we're gonna do some magic. And he was eating and his first question to me was like, oh, you lost some weight. And I'm like, yeah, I did, like 28 pounds, like 14 kilograms, right? And I'm like, is he seeing me? Like, he literally sees people and he remembers this kind of stuff. And I was talking about this with people, and Robert is kind of like this with everyone. So sometimes he picks up stuff and very good with people.
Yeah. I'm wondering, is there a little sneaky part of you that enjoys deceiving people?
I'm not that kind of person. I really don't like deceiving people. I like sometimes, having so much skill in terms of just sleight of hand that people don't see.
Which is fun.
Which is fun. But I often find that on the gigs like where I can sit down and talk about, card cheats, etc. I often found myself showing a bit of secrets of, card mechanics, because this is very interesting for people too. So yeah, it is a magician thing. Oh, I fooled him.
Yeah.
But for me, I am much more satisfied when I see emotions that are like, I've done this once for Artur Boruc, the goalkeeper, amazing goalkeeper from Legia, and I was doing magic with his wife. She's a singer. She has amazing jewelry company, and I did magic for her, and I used her name in the magic. And it was so emotional for her that she started crying. And literally, we got a pretty similar set with 3 cameras. And I was so grateful we have 3 cameras, because I needed to cut away from my face because I was so surprised that she's crying. But it was a positive cry. But this kind of stuff, like, for me, is way there than just fooling people. It's easy to fool people. We're fooling ourselves every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm more like into emotions. Yeah.
Dude, you've got millions of followers. People are recognizing you on the street. You go to parties with Robert Lewandowski. I once saw Robert Lewandowski from a distance. You touched the man himself. You spent an hour with him, and you look cool.
Did I touch Robert Lewandowski?
I guess you did, but you got close enough to touch him.
Yeah. I have a shirt with a signature.
Oh, what? It would be so easy to fall in love with yourself and your own magic, and not stay with your feet on the ground. Like, statistically speaking, it's far more likely you become an egotistical idiot than you remain a normal kind of person. You don't come across an egotistical
It's very funny, because you're very insightful in terms of this, because generally, not even being popular, but generally magic does that to people. So imagine this, you start as a young guy, shy because you don't have nothing to offer to that was me, right? Like, I was so shy to approach a girl. I didn't thought I have anything interesting to offer. That's why most of the magicians started doing this, right? And then you start doing stuff that you didn't invent it. Somebody like 100 years ago invented, and you just recreate a recipe, right? Like in the kitchen. And people treating you not like, oh, that was very, very tasty. They say, you're a god. Like, there is no way what the heck, right? And this twists your mind.
Big time.
I think I was twisted throughout the years many times. Sorry for everyone when I was, egocentrical in a way. But I try to do everything in my power and the people around me to stay grounded. Because this is the only way in this kind of stuff that you get, you progress. Because if you start thinking about, I was so amazing, watching my old videos, I was so amazing, you don't do the next video. And also, it's true with magic, it's true with being influencer. Like, people that are having this thing that you're saying, like they became like a very ego-driven, I don't know how to say, but they're becoming basically bad people. They will not last for many years in terms of career, right? So that's why I'm always trying, figure like make a decisions based on not being ego centered.
Did you have a moment where someone pulled you down from that balloon that was rising you up and taking you to?
Didn't have the moment, but I'm constantly pulling myself down just a bit. So I don't think I ever crossed the line like heavily, but I think like small situations that I just work my way down. And I'm thinking, being a bit older now, I think it's much easier. So I think I'm much more grounded now.
Yeah. Probably most people have never had more than 1,000 people or 100 people ever tell them they were amazing at anything, whereas you might get thousands every single day.
So here's the thing. So this is very dangerous. Not only because you're gonna, love yourself too much, but also you shouldn't be making assumption about your value from other people's opinion, whether they are positive or negative. This is very important because we talk about hating, right? Or criticism, or people are mixing this stuff up. But it's very important not to listen to the hate speech that you have in the comments, but also to the positive. Because then you're gonna twist, and actually scientists say that the believing in positive might be even worse than hate. So I read the comments, I respond, but if they are not constructive, I literally try to do as much as possible to not, let them to myself. Yeah. I should be the one, not even the close ones. I should be the one to say about my value. That's and I'll be working on this probably my whole life, because I started as a person who really don't like themselves, and I've heard that like the real confidence is when you're just confident because you're confident, and you just people are like this, and you're confident because you're confident. That's the real confidence. And there are other types of confidence, being confident, that are like material or skills. And I help myself a lot with skills. I like to think like if you rip off all my clothes and drop me into like third world country, I would still manage. I would probably have money for dinner in a couple of hours, because I will go to the main road and I will start performing, right? Yeah. This is something about performance
that's a good life skill thing for survival.
You have something that nobody can take it away from.
True.
But I think about this in terms of this, being more modest. I think pandemic changed a lot with many people, like to appreciate what you have. And this for me was also times when I really I was thinking like, it's very tough.
Do you notice that Polish people are particularly stiff when they're on camera? And
yes, they're much more stiffer than
every other country you've been.
Yeah, and it's okay. It's not a negative thing. It's just the kind of way we are. We don't have that much in culture. Like if you go to LA, and if you have the cameras like this, and we would film, people would go around. They would literally go around because they know this stuff, right? And they want to be on the videos. But then, in LA, when we were doing a lot of videos, people are more, how do you say, into their own interest. So they will say, can I have you on a videos? And then they're like, will you promote my Instagram? And how many followers do you have? So this is weird. Then you have like European countries, you have pretty similar to Poland, but we are a bit stiff, but like Italians would be, I would say, similar, but they would be a bit louder with the reaction. Then you have people in London I think the London is a great, from my experience, of course, it's all, anecdotal. But people in London were like in between, so they knew telly, and but the funny thing is like we were approaching people and they were asking, are you from the telly? And we said, no, we are from YouTube. Okay, so I can be on it. So people didn't want to be on a television. I don't know where it's coming from, but we've heard that many times actually.
But it's specifically in London.
Specifically in London, yeah. Like Camden Street, I think we filmed quite a bit there. So So
What's
very
making
interesting.
Polish people stiff? Are they just shy, or
I think it's
they lack
there's
communication skills?
No. I won't say like we cannot say the lack of communication skills in general. Like this kind of stuff in psychology, they don't understand. They don't. Sorry, they don't exist like on
Well,
the
let's
scale.
say our collective consciousness.
Collective, I would say we didn't have exposure for, being filmed and, in US they have classes where I've heard they have classes when you practice being filmed. So it's more I think into culture, not, particular personalities.
Favorite place in Poland?
I would have to say Węgorzewo, my city I was born.
He has to say that. It's good
Yeah, but still, like I search for a great piece of land there to have my own house near the lake. So I think if we do it, like
in that case, that's fine.
Yeah.
Place in Poland that you haven't visited that you know you should have by now. Most people say Szczecin.
Wow. It would be very difficult because I travel so much with shows. I do corporate shows, so I think I was everywhere. But I would answer differently. I would love to visit all of those places again, but not for work, because I didn't have the time
hotel, car.
But
station.
Literally, if you would name any bigger city, I would have to check, but I've probably been there. Yeah.
That's the first guest who's actually said that, but I think you probably are telling the truth. If you could change one thing about Poland, if you were the king of Poland, what would it be?
Probably not me being a king. I would put on democracy.
That's a good answer. Okay, if you were locked up for crimes against magic, I presume there is some kind of international dark circle where there's hands chopped off or something. If you were locked up for crimes against magic in Poland and you could be in a cell with one other Polish person, dead or alive, what Polish person would that be?
You know the answer. But no. It's not Robert Lewandowski, because then I wouldn't be able to watch him play.
More like he would be incredibly bored just walking around that room.
No, showing magic all the time.
But what's he got to offer you though when he's stuck in that room? There's lots of
I don't know so many stories. No, I wouldn't pick Robert Lewandowski because he needs to play, so I can watch in the So to cheer. Oh wow.
You've got a lot of talking. It's a long sentence.
Okay, so the idea would be I would probably want to spend this time with very famous, originally Polish, but he lived his whole life in US, magician, Edward Markowski, and he was very popular. He was one of the best card magicians in history of magic, and he competed a lot with Dai Vernon, the professor, the guy who basically made Magic Castle in LA.
Oh, yeah.
So they were like East Coast, West Coast competition, but they knew each other, they liked each other, but he invented so many card magic. So if I would be in a cell, I would probably want to be with him and learn all of the stuff with him and talk about how he invented this.
I can imagine that would probably be quite a high security risk that the two of you could probably get out of that cell.
Yeah, but then we get out like after a couple of months, like,
Favorite Polish food?
I don't know if my favorite food is pizza, but it's not typically Polish.
But it can be Polish by adding a weird additional ingredient.
No,
like
I just margarita. No, pineapple. It's not pizza.
Are you one of those people?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll just have to agree to
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
you
fine.
like pizza?
It's fine. Oh. It's no biggie. People make such a bad.
My manager didn't say. I don't talk to people who no.
We got a very long list.
Have you seen the video I did on this?
No, on the pizza.
I did in Italy. I did a video. This is very funny story. So I did a video in Italy where I would ask people to think of any pizza while holding the box, and they would say it, and that would be the pizza, right? That would be a magic.
I did not see that one. That's crazy.
And then they would say Diavola, and then I open, there's Diavola, and then there would be the other one. And I wanted for the third one, I wanted to somebody to influence the person to say Hawaiian pizza, right? And then I would open, there would be a Hawaiian thing, because this is not pizza, but there would be also a sign on the lid, like, this is not pizza. So you cannot imagine how hard it is to get a pizza with pineapple in the city center of Milan. Like, we begged people in the restaurant for 2 hours to do it. because we needed to explain like 30 times what's the idea to laugh about it in the video. And they, at the end, they agreed to do it, but they charged us 2 times. So we paid for this pizza 20 euros. Yeah. So
I need to watch that, man. I'll go.
Yeah, that's very funny.
If you were taking a foreign person to Poland, where would you take them?
Mazure.
Oh God, consistent. I like that.
Yeah, I like Mazure. Yeah.
Well, it would be wrong of me not to ask you if you could do a magic trick on me for our cameras.
So let's try something different. Let's try the psychological thing, okay? So
I'm just gonna quickly.
Yeah. So let's have this. Let's first think of like anything that or anyone or anything that you can put on the internet, like to search on the internet, okay? You have it? Okay.
Can I cover my eyes so you don't see inside my brain?
No, I need to see you.
See my,
yeah. So think about this.
I'm really going to try and outgame you on this.
Okay. So here's the idea. So while we were talking, I was just talking about stuff. Maybe this interview is weird. Like people think like weird stuff to say. But then maybe I was trying, instead of reading your mind, I was trying to suggest you something. But we're gonna see. So you could have gone with anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll take just my business card to write, and look at me. My guess was to try to influence you in a way. And I also studied, like I told you, I know you from internet. Like I know what kind of stuff you do.
Yeah.
So my guess was to influence you to choose a person. You thought of a person, right?
I did think of a person. Yes.
Okay. So that's I think it's that's.
This is crazy.
And I'm gonna write what I thought it's gonna work.
If this doesn't work, do we have to refilm it?
No. It's just an experiment, doesn't it?
Okay. Okay.
In your mind, did you think about the President of United States, Joe Biden?
Yes, but I don't want to swear, but how the hell? That's mad.
So here is the idea. So people will think that maybe you are very nice to me. You say maybe you think that you said that you thought about Biden, right?
No, I definitely.
So
yeah.
let's do this. Instead of me saying first, let's try this. Think of a random word in English, not associated with anything like this. Not associated with anything. You have the word?
Yeah.
Okay, so think of the first letter, okay, of this word.
Yeah. I still can't believe that.
So this is more like suggestion, but this one will be clearly a mind reading, right? So I want you to think of the first letter, and the first letter is the most tricky one, because then I don't know if I'll be able to, pick this up. Okay. It's like a normal, like a random word, right? Like
yeah, it's a totally random word.
Totally random, right?
Yeah. There's no way you could guess this. There's a million words. It's not possible.
But there's like a longer. It's like more than 7 letters, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Did I just give it away by even?
No. Like you counted the letters, but it's okay. First letter is the hardest, but I would say it's like a round shape. That the first letter has a round shape. If you focus on the first letter, it has a round shape, but there's also like a lines, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's always lines, but yes.
Like at straight lines.
Well, straightish, yeah.
Straightish.
Yeah. I don't want to give you too many clues.
Is it an R?
See, what I would really it's not an R. See, what I would really like is for you to go like, I can't read you. You're too.
Oh yeah.
That's what I secretly.
No, yeah. Maybe I didn't guess the first time, so maybe I can't, and maybe it's okay. I guess the Biden, so it's okay.
I'd quite like to be above the normal kind of like hoi polloi.
Is it? Oh, maybe it's similar to R, right? But it's in a way. Tell me, like, is it D?
No.
No. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So here's the idea. You're very hard to read, but I'm gonna try. Can you just tell me the first letter? Only the first letter.
I'll tell you the first letter. Yeah. It's A.
A.
Yeah. I bamboozled. He wasn't expecting that.
Oh, that's a tricky. Oh, okay. So you're this kind of person. But I was saying D, and there is D there, right? On the second position, right?
Yes. But
so then I got like, you were thinking, because about when I say D, your reaction was like, imagine you're in a class, right? And this word is like spreaded, like drawn on the chalkboard, right? And it's spreaded, right? And you think of any letter in the middle, but not the first two and not the last one. Okay?
Yeah.
You have any? So you've gone for one letter and then you switched, I think.
Yes.
so that's what I was seeing. And
this is crazy. Okay. Yeah.
did you thought of an N at any
Yes.
point?
There is no way that you could possibly know that. This is
And-
mad.
And then you go for T? There is T-
close. It's
T-
close. Yeah, there's a T. Yeah.
There's also a V. I'm not very good.
Yes, there's a V.
I written down the word so nobody would see. So you don't see, people can see. But I don't know if I guessed it correctly, but maybe it's gonna be close enough. What's the word you got in mind?
Advantage.
Advantage, perfect.
That is mad, bro. I was never expecting you to even get that. That's some Jedi mind trick stuff. Right, after we finish the recording, you're going at gunpoint to tell me exactly how you did that, because that's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, so we were talking about the advantage of a magician over the other people, so maybe it makes sense. Like, it's very weird, right?
I am generally bamboozled. Well, it's been a real pleasure, I have to say. You've been one of the most eloquent guests we've had on the show. And it's the 116th, I think, edition of Heart of Poland. So
just to reply, not for, courtesy, the questions you ask, none of those questions I ever was asked before, and thank you for that, because it's very difficult to have an interview that you say the same stuff all over again.
One of my jokey questions is always, what's the most boring question you're always asked, and then to ask it anyway, but I didn't do it that time. I was thinking about it, but I Jedi mind tricked you on the way. Why, thank you very much for joining us, and I think you'll agree that genuinely was a magic episode. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. If you'd like to discover more fascinating stories about the Heart of Poland, you know what to do, which is to go to thefirstnews.com, which is the premier English language news resource for news, culture and views about Poland. You can find it by going to thefirstnews.com, and if you've enjoyed this episode, then I do encourage you to share it wherever you find it. I believe we may actually be on TikTok. I'm not too sure about that. I'm too busy getting grey hair and dandruff, but I'm told that the best in the job are on it. And of course, you can find out more fascinating episodes from fascinating people in the fascinating program Heart of Poland on the fascinating mission to discover the Heart of Poland. So I'll see you again for another episode of Heart of Poland.